Hi, thanks for tuning in here today. Today we're going to be doing a nice little fun painting. I hope you can follow along with me. Let me have them run the colors across the screen that you'll need to paint along with me in the same order I have them on my palette. While they're doing that, let me tell you what I got up here on my easel. On my regular 16 by 20 inch canvas, pre-stretched, double prime, and this time I have it vertically, or other people know it as portrait mode. I put it like this because I wanted more focus downwards rather than side to side, but it has a thin layer of the liquid white, and we could get started with today's painting. So right off the bat, we're gonna go ahead with our palette knife, a little bit of alizarin crimson. We're gonna go into a little bit of cadmium yellow. You need more yellow because, or depending what orange you want, but the crimson is much stronger than the yellow, so we have to fight that. So just mixing up a nice orangey color for me, and I think I'm satisfied with this. I got this nice bright orange, and all I'm gonna do is grab myself a nice good old 2-inch brush. All I'm gonna do is tap a little bit of color into it. Just tap. Let's come up here and just block in a simple little sky. There. There we are. Now, to make it a little more safer for you guys, we're gonna add a little more crimson. I want to make this where it's beginner friendly, but it gets your little hopes to go up and more confident. I'm here to help you guys learn some few things and get you guys more confident to pull more random things. Okay, so now that we have that, all I'm gonna do is clean off my knife, clear out my palette, and all I'm gonna do, I want a very light sky. So I'm gonna grab slightest touch of phthalo blue. Hopefully you can see that. Look how little that is. Boom, that's how much. You're gonna grab about this much of titanium white. If you want it this light, you want to grab so much more white compared to blue. Now I am aware there is liquid white on my canvas, but still, just trust me on this one. We're gonna go into a little bit of that blue color. Okay, it's a little light, but it's easier to add more color and to take away color. Keep that in mind. Okay, just adding a little bit and going back to reload. Now, let me pile up the paint just so I can get more paint now. Maybe right around there. Okay, and now we're gonna grab a little bit of that color, and we want a nice little lavender hue. You're probably saying, you didn't even tell us what we had planned for today. You just went on. So for those people, today we're going to be doing a nice little painting, maybe where you're in a nice trail in, like, let's say Oregon, and there's a sunset I'm just imagining how I wanted this. I just came up with this like a couple minutes ago, if I'm being honest with you guys. So, clear idea? Still no clear idea, but we're getting there. So, just add color. That's all you can really do. Add color. Okay, let me step back a bit. I think it needs a little more red to it. Few little spots here and there. There. Okay, let me beat the brush just to remove the extra paint that might be on there, and very softly, because we don't want to blend too much of that blue into our yellows. Very softly. Just like that, you have yourself a nice little simple sky. Now, let me go ahead. I'm just making some space on my napkin. I'm folding it. And let me clean off my knife. Sorry about that. There we are. Now, we're going to go ahead, a little bit of brown and to that lavender light color. We're going to cut a roll. We have this nice light brown color. Cut a roll, and all I'm going to do is just cut out where I want my mountain to be. Okay. There. Boom. Something like that. I just want the basic top area. I could care less about the rest because it's in the distance. I want it to look very distant and very faded. That's why I'm not adding much color. Look. The less color you add when you blend it, the more faded it will look, and the more faded it looks, the more in the distance it looks. Look at that. To me, that looks far out in the distance. That could just be me. Okay. Let's go ahead and you know what? Let's highlight that. We'll grab a little bit of brown, Van Dyke brown, a little bit of that orange color we had going on earlier, and little touch of white. A little more orange. Let's try that out. Oh, almost did a mistake. Well, not a mistake, but how can I say it? I was trying to do it with brush strokes, and I almost did it with my palette knife. So, just with the messed up old brush, just to kind of block in color. There we are. And we can go ahead, grab a little bit of blue, a little bit of crimson, and a little bit of brown. A bit of white too. You can add a nice little shadow. There we are. A few little things go up in there. And grab it and blend it out. Shoo. That's simple. You know what? before I do anything else, let's go into a little bit of cadmium yellow, a little bit of brown. Ooh, that was too much cadmium yellow. At least I was able to stop myself before proceeding. Just mixing up random colors, just going through blues, browns, seeing what stands out. I don't want it to stand out too much because it's off in the distance, but also I don't want it to blend too much because then you don't see anything, and what's the point? So you gotta have that little balance. Does it blend too much? Kind of. We'll add a little more blue to it. Since there's yellow, it's gonna start turning green. There we are. That's a bit better. I like that a bit more. Okay, let's go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and maybe just right there. It dips. And right around there. Just try to get a basic shape of some rocks that live up on there. So maybe it just gets up to there. Now this is good for two things: getting light color, but also cleaning your brush because you're just rubbing all that paint off. So when you're blending or whatever, you have less paint on that brush. You really got to scrub it. Okay. Now, let's go ahead. A little bit of brown, a little bit of white. I think we need a little orange to really emphasize that sunset. So it seems like it's too light. So we're gonna add a little darker color. Hopefully that'll help out. That should just do the job. There we are. Okay, I'm gonna try something out. I like trying new things out and seeing whether they work or not. A little bit of brown, a little bit of orange. I'm mixing up from yellow and red. I still want that brown tint, but also that orange will give it that nice look of, oh, maybe the sunset's hitting it. Okay. There. What I'm gonna do is grab it and blend it out. Grab it, blend it out. Okay. Now what I'm gonna do is go into a little bit of white and just tap on a little white. Okay. Clean off my brush and really push it into the fabric and the color. That way it blends. And keep tapping until you get the color you desire. Just to kind of symbolize a little extra light kissing it. Okay, now we're gonna grab some brown, cut a roll, and all we're gonna do is shoop. It doesn't matter how much pressure you use, at least the way I'm imagining how to do this. So just try to scrape off as much as I can off, and then just go across, really blend it out. A little bit of color here, that way it blends a bit. Shoot, either this could be fantastic or it can lead us down the rabbit hole. And right now it's looking like it's gonna lead us down the rabbit hole. Nah, I'm kidding, have faith. And let's go ahead and all I'm gonna do is make it seem like little grassy areas are just boop, 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 boop. This isn't gonna be our main focus, so we can get away with being a little lazy with it. People won't question it as much as wherever your main focus is at. Okay, I think I'm satisfied with that. Now let's go ahead, let's grab our fan brush. We'll go into a little bit of blue, whatever was underneath, some white, and we'll just right here, shoo. Just let it do its thing. Shoo. Okay, and we're gonna go into a little bit of white, just a little lighter. That way we can highlight a few little areas. It helps that your brush is like old, worn out. If you're just starting out, you can do the same thing, but like I like to tell everyone, it's not gonna look identical, and that's good. And don't try to make it look identical. But that's my little waterfall to me. So let's go ahead and let's go into a little bit of black, a little bit of ivory black, and we'll just tap on a few little dark color. We'll lift up and go across. Now let me grab my fan brush. We're gonna go into some ivory black, and all we're gonna do is just imagine it starting from here and work your way taller until you get to the corner of your, or the edge of your canvas. Again, it's all about perspective. So if you can get the right perspective, you're golden. You're good. Okay. Lift up. There we are. We're gonna grab some more dark color, maybe just it lives right around there. There we are. And you can just plop on some color, really. It doesn't really matter right now. What matters is getting the To me, getting the perspective right now is what matters. Once you get the perspective, you can play everything off. There, lift up. I want to pull this down just a bit. And likewise over here. Okay. So it kind of looks like you're looking into a nice spot of trees just leading you in, which that's what I was hoping for. I'm gonna leave a little bit of space, that way I know where the tree should end and all that, because since it's the same color, you'll forget and then you'll paint right over and the illusion is off. So we don't want to do that. There we are. Let's go ahead. Nice little grassy area. Okay. There. And I'm gonna save this brush for later. I had a dirty brush with green color on it, so might as well use it. That way you're not dirtying brushes. It's alright that the tone is different. Really doesn't matter. We can all fix it. It's like when you take a picture and you're like, that's alright, I could fix it in editing. Well, we're just blocking it in right now, and we'll worry about it when editing. That might have been too much cadmium yellow that I loaded up on my brush, but you can work with it. Just tap a little bit off and work it into the canvas. There. There we are. Okay. We're gonna go ahead with our fan brush into some brown, and let's go ahead and shoom. Maybe there's a nice little pathway. There we are. And we can go ahead and add little shrubs, you can, the corner of your fan brush, you can add in a few little bushy things, whatever those want to be. But let's go ahead and let's start working little things in. So maybe right here, shoom, there lives a evergreen tree. There we are. Just by tapping with the corner of your brush. You can push that bush back by just covering it up. That's how simple it is. Maybe right there lives another one. There we are. Boom. You know what? I think the bush will live in front of that one. This one maybe not, but that other one maybe. Shoom. And just add as many or as few trees as you want. This is your painting. There. There we are. And let's go ahead, load up some more color on my brush. Let's come up here and plop him in just by using that corner of your fan brush. You can do this with a 1" or 2" as well. There we are. Boom. That simple it is. Maybe one Liz does now. There we are. And we should have one off in the distance. There. Okay, let's highlight those trees. Light's coming somewhere over here. There we are. Nice, good old green, evergreen trees. It even says in the name. I didn't have to say it. Evergreen. There. So let me go ahead. You're gonna do this, add a little different colors. That way when you go over with your green color, you can tell the difference. And you'll see right now in a moment. Okay, so let's go back to highlighting these trees and boom, boom, boom. You can see the little difference. It's subtle, but it's there, and it's pretty important. Okay, because if not, it blends in, and what's the point, you know? Let's come up here and there. Just by tapping, you can do all of this using just the corner of your fan brush. That's all I'm using. Just little indications here and there. There. And shoot. There we are. And we'll go into a little bit of orange. A little bit of yellow. And okay. Last thing before I sign off, I know we went overtime today, but I think it's well worth it for this one. Let's go ahead maybe. There we are. Just a big ol' tree, and maybe there lives a stick right around there. Something like so. We'll go with our 2-inch brush, little ivory black, and just add in a little bit of color in there. It needs a little bit of greenery on those branches. Let's go ahead, maybe. Shoot. Okay, we'll go into a little bit of cadmium yellow, and there we are. Load up a little more color, and just like so. And you can make the grass grow up on the tree. We'll add a little bit of white to our brown, a little bit of that orangey brown color, and we'll add a little highlight right around there. Well, with that concludes today's painting. I really hope you enjoy it. Try this painting out. It's a nice fun, not too hard, not too easy, but it'll give you a nice little challenge. If you do follow this painting, send me an email. I would love to see what you create, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care, my friends. Goodbye.